Stories, man.
I believe Pondy's the first face we've ever had on our opening graphic. I've never had an actual human face on there before.
I don't think you have either.
I don't think so.
You
Maybe
picked
way
a
back when.
good-looking dude, though.
Maybe way back when. But being able to make the virus stuff come out of his head was super fun. I like that a lot. As soon as I did that, I'm like, oh, I have delighted myself. You are a delight. Hello, Jane. How you doing? How about that? YouTube first one in there. Mad McRoberts. What's up, sir? We have one hell of a show for you guys today. We're going to let a couple more people come in. 3 people on a Periscope. If you're watching on Periscope, see if you can text or chat or say something. I don't know if you show up in our unified chat or not. Jenalia, how are you? Carol Donahue, hello, hello, hello. Now we got some peeps coming in to see a cover. We got the guest is the best today, Brittany.
Mm-hmm.
And YouTube coming in. All right. Twitch, a little late on the Twitch, but we got 5 Periscopes now. Periscopers, can you say anything? Don't know if you can. Jay Radimus, Jude Stenson, watching on YouTube.
Brother.
Keith Hughes, what's up, buddy? Jen Lundy. Jen, a lot of drama in the Green Bay quarterback situation.
Oh, my gosh, so much drama.
We're waiting to see what happens with that, Jen, but it's crazy. It's crazy. Dana Lynn, Tracy, Steve the Iceberg,
Hey,
Ricky
Dana Lynn.
Berg. Steve's working his butt off, you guys.
Hey, Mr. Tracy Shank, nice to
Mike
see
and
you.
the Mistakes.
Hi, Sean.
Yeah, buddy. Now you get back to cleaning toilets. Well, I already cleaned mine today, so we're very good. Dawn Shipley, hello. I love when people say hello, Sigler. It's very nice. Makes me happy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a crowd, so we're going to go live. Let's see. A-cam up, baby. Do you think you're ready?
I am ready.
3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. Happy Cinco de Mayo. We have our theme cervezas up today. What do you got, baby?
I have a margarita with tagine on the top. It's a San Diego thing. It's yummy.
Tagine. I knew a girl named Tagine once. She was a bit prickly.
Listen, we're not eating on this cast, so can I always be stirring at the very least?
Well, unprofessional eating and noise making is how we do things
Akil,
here.
what? Hello, sir. Nice to see you.
Maria
out there.
D'Souza. Makes me happy to see Maria in the room.
I know, always.
All the time. All right, let's go over what we got to cover.
Mike.
We're on a tight schedule. We're on a tight ship here in the Sigler household. And that tight ship is so we can get through all of our usual hullabaloo, get through our advertisement, tease you guys with Story Smack. I forgot to do the date. Tease you guys with Story Smack. That's what I'll explain when we get there. Then we're going to take a look at 5 very embarrassing high school pictures of junkies. And then the second half of the show is all dedicated to the cover reveal for the Gangster hardcover and to the creator of the cover, maker and designer Scott E. Pond.
Oh my God, we're so excited. We were just doing like a mic check with Pondy and saying like, this is one of the very few times we call him our in-house graphic designer. He's the one who comes up with a lot of the ideas. He is the one we go to first every time Scott has an idea. And all of a sudden, I realized, like, except for Siglerfest, which Scott Pond pointed out, this is the first in-house thing we're doing together.
Yep.
So I'm excited 10 years in that we're finally together.
Oh, great. So swing back to here. All right, so now I will make sure we have enough time because Scott has brought in, where does he get those wonderful toys? He's brought in a bunch of stuff to share with us. And obviously, it's going to take a while to get through all that. So let's go. So we've done our main introduction. Cinco de Mayo. Guest Scott Pond.
Yeah, we can go ahead. I can go ahead quickly and run through some of our stuff. We're going to talk celebrations. We're going to have some junkie picks. I did that the wrong way, huh? There we go. Certainly junkie pics. Scott called them embarrassing photos. I got to tell you, every photo I've seen, not terribly embarrassing. I think it's only self-embarrassing. Like everybody else is like, oh, look at tiny Proto-A. And so we're going to show a lot of them. Tons of you have sent them in. Continue to send them in. We're only going to do 5 this time, but we'll do a bunch next week as well.
Something really weird is going on with the framing of the camera.
Yeah, isn't it?
I don't know what the heck is going on there. We'll try and fix it, but you keep talking, sweetheart.
And so we have, obviously, an interview with Pondy here in a minute as well. We are celebrating Cinco de Mayo. I'm having a margarita. Scott is having a Modelo. I'm not sure if Scott Pond on the other coast is drinking because it's a little bit later. Heads up, we will not be having, this is your first warning, I'll warn you a whole bunch, we will not be having a SIGLERinPLACE on June 2nd. Wednesday, June 2nd, we will not have a SIGLERinPLACE because the Siglers are going to actually try and have a honeymoon. A little getaway, where we drive the car and take the dogs. And so we are not going to be here on June the 2nd. Moving on. We have Scott wants you to know that the GFL Book VII, he is about 20,000 words into the second draft.
Excuse me.
And he's working on that. This is super exciting. If you look over here, something is going crazy.
We're going to just do this for the rest of the show, you guys. I'll figure that out some other time.
Yeah. The Stone Wolves principal recording is finished. So keeping on track for us to deliver both the print version of GFL 6, The Gangster, and The Stone Wolves by The Gangster, hopefully by the end of Q2. I have a little bit of an update just after this about that. And certainly by the end of Q3, I think we will have The Stone Wolves. The Gangster is actually on its way to print. Woohoo! Finally! We're submitting collateral. We got all of that set up. So as soon as we know exactly how long it'll take to print, we can estimate how it'll take to ship. You guys will get a newsletter saying, I expect you should have your books around now.
So make sure you're signed up for the newsletter.
Yeah.
I'm not saying your life depends on it, but it's almost as important as that. The first salvo of information we're sending out regarding shipping information, everything else, for you to finally get your hardcovers that we have teased you with forever and ever, is going to be sent via the newsletter. So scottsigler.com/newsletter. Get your fine booties signed up over there. Do the kids still say booties?
Yes.
Yes. Get your fine booties signed up over there.
We are continuing to Story Smack throughout the pandemic as well. We do this once a week, except for June 2nd. And every other week we do Story Smack. This next Story Smack on May 15th will be John Wick 2. We were going to do John Wick 1, and then John Vizcara mentioned we'd already done that for for Story Smack 10. So we're gonna look at
wait, let me swing over. Now the date's wrong on this, you guys, and so is the poster. I got all flustered. You know what? Trust us. We're gonna have a Story Smack. Let's just turn that crap off. Let's turn it off. And real quick, since we have a little bit of extra time from there, I want to tell you guys what we're going to be doing. We're going to switch to. Did you agree this is a good idea?
Yes, but I don't know that we're going to do that. Oh, I see. Yes, we are.
We are going to switch to Story Smacks on the first and third Saturdays of every month, because frankly, I don't even know when the hell they are when they say they're every other Saturday. So I get confused. So from now on, it'll be first and third Saturday. So we're doing third Saturday is John Wick 2, because John Wick 4 is out May 20th. So get a nice deep dive into John Wick 2, swing over to John Wick 4. And then in June, on the 5th, we're going to do Top Gun. I have that completely wrong. Never mind. Yep. No, that's because I would do Top Gun in July.
Yeah.
I'm butchering this. Let's move on. Let's move on.
We had a little bit of technical difficulties, which joined in the show itself, as you know. So we're going to be,
we do Celebrations yet?
No, we're about to do it.
Let's get them.
All right, Celebrations start. If you guys are familiar at all with a billion Hollywood fun TV shows, you may know the work of our friend Amy Berg. Amy Berg is currently the showrunner for Warrior Nun, which came out last year. If you guys haven't seen it, go watch it. Today is her birthday. We love her. Happy birthday, Amy.
Awesome person, yeah.
Awesome person. And Warrior Nun was awesome. You should watch that too. It is also author Yvonne Navarro's birthday. She's a good friend of ours from Phoenix Comic-Con. She's married to author Weston Oakes. They're both terrific. They have giant, beautiful greyhounds. Happy birthday, Yvonne.
Yvonne Navarro was one of the people I read before I was published, and then was published and got to go to a con and hang out with Yvonne Navarro. It was pretty dope. One of the few people. And
also, her husband is Weston Oakes. He's also a writer. He is joining us on Story Smack on 5/19.
Yes. He has a new Aliens book out and a bunch of other books out. He's co-writing a series with Jonathan Mayberry, who's been a guest on the show. So we're very excited to get our buddy
military
Weston.
Fiction. He is like a lot of Scott's secret agents. Weston is not a secret agent, but he has real on-the-ground, real-time experience. So his books are super accurate, and he's also a terrific writer. So if you want
he's
to
wonderful dude.
experience his work other than the Aliens, I'd recommend that as well. But Aliens, I'm excited for. It is Anna Root's birthday, Junkie Anna Root's birthday. I hope you're having a great time in Hawaii. And if that's it for today, if you guys have anything that I missed, if you have anything you want to celebrate, Sherry Hair, you got a new haircut. I could have celebrated that today, but it's not even your profile picture. Send that information to info@emptyset. I don't know where. There we go. Info@emptyset.
I don't know what the heck happened with this thing.
And that's for birthday celebrations. That's for your quote-unquote embarrassing high school photos, even though they're not embarrassing. Send all that stuff to info@emptyset. Every question you have about the gangster, all that. info@emptyset. Can't say it enough.
You know what? I think I fixed it
because
I'm a technical whiz kid. That's what I am.
When you have a moment, if you want to do this.
Yes. Go ahead, babe.
We're about to talk about the sponsor because you told me to rush through because we got lots to talk about with Pondy.
There we go.
As you guys know, you guys. This week's nonprofit charity is Give India. Give India. I know I mentioned it last week. I'm mentioning it again because we have one Mother Earth and we are one planet. And if I went through your house right now, there's zillions of things that were made in India in your home. And they're really in trouble, you guys. So as of today, the death toll due to COVID-19 in India has surpassed 226,000 people with over 20 million confirmed cases. Their entire medical infrastructure is failing, which means also their entire infrastructure is failing. So India has also seen the largest single-day total in the world during this pandemic with over 360,960 new cases confirmed in a single day. If you have any spare money to help them get this under control, please consider.
And look at this; they got a big list of different COVID missions. So
absolutely,
you can tailor. If you can donate, you can tailor it to something that you think is best fitting to your outlook on life.
Yeah. So I won't dwell too much on that, but because it is so heartbreaking. But I will say, I have several friends in my life. My very best friend is an Indian. I grew up with an Indian mom. Who is no longer with us, but she's my pizza sauce recipe mom.
So
she's
good. Pizza sauce is so good.
She's
ridiculous.
So important to me. India is so important to the world at large. If you have any money to spare, please consider donating. Indians are dying at the moment of one person every 2 minutes.
That's pretty fast.
It's hard to even say out loud, you guys. So if you can donate, please do that because we have to save them because that's the way we save ourselves.
All right, let's go back to the main while my incredibly beautiful wife gets her stuff together.
I don't think I've cried on this show in 2021. I was proud of it. Now
I made her cry last night. Gift cry. A good cry. It was awesome. I was very excited by that. Very excited.
You guys may or may not know, but our wedding anniversary is also my birthday. So this year I have a 50th birthday and a first wedding anniversary. And Scott has already knocked it out of the park for my birthday gift, and it's a month and a half early.
I gamify everything on the planet. So the gift cry is the championship belt. There we go. All right, now moving on, we are to junkie picks, and we're doing great on time. We're going to have a whole bunch of time for Pondy. This is fantastic. But we simply must go over these pictures. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not familiar with who these people are. I'm also very bad with on the spot remembering names, so I may recognize the face but not be able to place the name because I just get stressed. I get stressed out from all the times I've been out signing and been on tour, and I'm like, I know I talk to this person every other day in one form or another, and here they are right in front of me, and I'm blanking.
And this week, I think there's only one person you'd be able to identify, but it's an incredibly difficult guess, I think.
I have an actual medical condition. It's a version of face blindness. It's called schistomiasis, and that is the problem that I have. So trust me, it's a medical diagnosis, and I'm a doctor, so I know these things. Let's go. Who's this?
You're not going to guess this, although you interact with him quite a lot on Twitter. This is Scott Lynch, and he said, okay, here's a high school photo along with a more recent one. I was on the yearbook staff as well. Me too. Yes. The high school photo is 1986, and it is on the left, of course, and the other one is 2019. Scott's lovely, lovely, lovely dude, and I'm glad that he sent it in.
A lot of Scott's hair moved from the top of his head down to his face.
It's true. It's true. It's so funny. A lot of photos from Scott and I are roughly the same age. I'm a tiny bit older, so I've been looking at my own photos, and I realize, holy cats, you guys! All of most women's hair from like the 80s, 90s pics just got smaller, and all dudes' hair migrated to their face. It's an interesting thing.
I got a $5 swear bonus from Richard Allen. So I get 5 free swear words.
And Robin Taylor, you are right. It is Reese's Gotcha Day on June 28th. June 28th has just become a giant celebration in this house.
Ready?
I am ready, yes. This, I think she's probably in the chat room now.
Yeah.
This is Courtney Schools. Courtney
okay.
is always and often in the chat room. She's terrific. She's a teacher of younger children, I believe. She said,
is she teaching them to jam icicles into their forehead? Because
No,
that's a class
said-
I want to watch.
She said, so this photo is, she actually said, I was a little bit out there in high school. God bless you.
Courtney's
Of course
in the chat
you
room.
were.
Fabulous.
Yes. Hello, Courtney. So she says, this is her attempting a narwhal photo.
Oh, I like it.
And
I like where this is
I want
going.
to point out that she is the one who said this, not me. This is me attempting a narwhal photo, more like a narfail photo. And I disagree. I love that you sent this in. I also love that you have essentially not aged.
That's
let's
great.
look at the next one.
Next one is...
Okay, this is also Courtney. And
Oh,
Courtney,
my
you are
God.
going to have to explain what you were doing because you didn't say that. All you said was the cat's name was Pumpkin.
I believe she's force-feeding Pumpkin marijuana tea. It's pretty obvious.
But what is all those little gold balls and
That's
the weird icicles on the other
because
end?
Pumpkin is high as balls.
I mean,
and-
she could just give Pumpkin catnip and it would do that. But she says the cat's name was Pumpkin and no animals were harmed in the making of this
No,
photo.
not harm, but super duper high.
Also, I love this.
Very
I'm not.
super-duper
I think
high.
that Courtney. I think by looking, Courtney is younger than I am, but I rocked those tiny brows too for a really long time.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I love those too.
All right.
Yeah, she's oiling the tin cat. I don't know what she's doing.
Robin, no euphemisms. Come on. We're not going to talk about
Oh, she thought that
watering the pumpkin. We're not going to do that.
Oh,
all right.
sakes.
And here we go. Next.
This is the only one I think you would guess. I know you know this gentleman, but I stared at this for literally like an hour. Like, this, what? I will give you, this gentleman lives in New Orleans. Yeah, you're not going to get it. He looks so different. And he also looks a little like my brother Jude in
I don't think I'm gonna
his
get it. I'm not
jump
gonna
school.
get it.
This is Don Wenzel.
Oh, there.
Now look, now you can see it. If you look now, right?
Yes, the
He says-
lineman, Don Wenzel. Yes, for sure.
He says,
For sure.
1990 me. It's not quite high school, but it is as close as I could get on my phone. I was just a wee baby key back then.
A wee baby. That's fabulous.
Hey, Don's in the chat room too.
Don says,
Look,
"Shame on you, Scotty."
it can't be that bad, Don, because I looked at your email, which has your name on it, and we're like, this is awesome.
It's
You
awesome.
look awesome.
All right, we got one more?
We do.
Okay, here we go.
You're not going to get this. I'm just going to tell you. This I love so much. This is Paul Preston. Paul Preston
Oh my gosh.
has sent us photos
That
recently
mohawk
as well.
is to die for. If
He
I
says-
could grow hair, I would have that hairdo. That is what I would
He
have.
says, 1990 senior year. I had a mohawk all year. 30 years later, whenever I run into somebody from high school, they ask where my mohawk went. I had it literally for 1 year, but it gave me a reputation for life.
I can imagine.
And now we all want to know where your mohawk went to. Not gonna lie.
Real quick story. In high school football at Sheboygan High School, we all went to football camp. We got to go to football camp for a week, which is an amazing thing. Whole team goes out to basically a cabin in the woods military camp, Camp Grayling. And we practiced football twice a day. Everybody got to eat really well. Team got to bond. It was great. But one of the things, as soon as you got to football camp, the tradition was to shave your head. And not if you did not have to shave your head, it was not required. But my dad would shave his head. The assistant coaches would shave their head. A bunch of teenage boys get fired up. Be like, I'm going to shave my head too. And usually you had the seniors shaving their head. So one year we had 35 guys shave their head. There were several mohawks though. So we had a few of these. They would go to school looking like this, and then would all come down and put the helmet on. And we would go out and we would whoop some ass.
So that counted. You could shave your head into a mohawk.
Yes.
And
Yes,
that
you
still
could.
counts as shaving your head.
Of course.
Of course, yeah.
Of course. And then I think that's it.
That's it for
Let's
this
go back
time,
to
yeah.
Maine. Is that it, babe? Are we through the rigmarole?
We are through everything but the thing you're so excited for.
All right, here we go.
Scott Sigler all day has been like, okay, but you got to be quick because Pondy and I have so much to talk about. So here we are.
And if you guys have ever hung out with A, you know sometimes A can find a lot of things to talk about.
Sometimes I talk way too much, you guys. I mean, way too much.
I may have shown an abundance of caution, be like, baby, let's just keep it small, keep it down. All right, now.
Amy Reed is right. She said that took a lot of product in them.
That took a lot of product. I think the book covers are off. We are now going to bring on first in our guest blow-up screen, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I screwed that up. Totally. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Scott E. Pond, in-house designer for Empty Set Entertainment, maker of many t-shirts, many book covers, paperbacks, and hardcover, maker of many props, maker of many, many things. Scott, welcome to SIGLERinPLACE.
Guys?
How you doing, man?
Good. Can you hear me?
Yep. I can hear you just fine. I totally just screwed the cover reveal, so people are watching is real quick. So let's get into that right out of the gate. Scott has been working on this cover for years,
15,
literally.
A little, like 15 years, I think.
Yeah,
27 years.
It's been a while.
Maybe 16.
Because it gets hard as the series progresses to come up with a cover image, both paperback and hardcover, that is something new for you guys, but is not a spoiler for what goes on in the story, but might hint at something, becomes more and more difficult. Book 7 and Book 8 covers, I got no friggin' idea what we're going to do. We're going to work on that, but it takes a while, and Pondy and Big John Vizcarra and myself kind of kick ideas around, and then Pondy has to, try this, sketch this, sketch that, and we finally found one that we liked, and he went to town.
Guys will talk a lot about this. I try to stay sort of just in the admin background unless I'm really like positively or negatively for something, because me staying out of the way, because mine is so just a practical, like, okay, can you do that? Can we do this? Makes the coolest interaction between the two of you. This particular cover, which we'll see, was a whole bunch of back and forth where Pondy had the idea that we will see as the cover, and Scott was like, yeah, I'm okay. That's totally great. Let's talk about other things. And it kept sort of shaving back around and coming back around and shaving away. Like, nope, that won't work. No, this won't work. And I am so excited about this cover. I think it's so cool. I think it's a perfect cover for the hardcover for where the story goes.
Ladies and gentlemen, you guys watching this live stream are the first in the world to see this cover, other than Pondy, A, and I. Not even Big John Vizcarra has seen it. None of the secret agents have seen it. The mad genius that is Scott E. Pond. Here we go. This is the cover. Now, in the comments, if you guys are chatting in the comments, remember, some people are waiting to get the hardcover or the paperback to read it. You can say stuff you want, just don't spoil anything. It's very important.
Yeah.
Try not to spoil anything in the comments. Ready, baby?
No, not yet. I will reinforce what he said, that if you have finished The Gangster, and I know several of you have read it more than once, you'll notice and you'll know what this is. I will tell you right out. Please don't put it in the chat. Please, please, please don't put it in the chat.
Yeah, yeah. I'll mention a couple small things about it. Pondy will do the best we can. I'll muddle through. But ladies and gentlemen, this is the cover for GFL Book number 6, The Gangster, the hardcover limited edition.
Created by Scott E. Pond Designs.
And 3, and 2, and 1, shabam. That is the hardcover cover. I now know that we have done this live stream for over a year for this particular purpose. It's all been building up to the live cover reveal of The Gangster.
This cover is the dust jacket, technically.
This is the dust jacket. Yeah. It's stretched out a little bit to fit in the available screen space, but it just looks so cool digitally, and I know once we get those hardcovers, it's going to be amazing. I don't have a lower third CGI for this, and I should have. How terrible of me. ScottSigler.com/thegangster. Remember, we're going to do an pre-order for these. Pre-order still available. The print is coming pretty soon. Mm-hmm. You do get the hardcover, or you get the galaxy map that Scott also made, which we showed on a previous cast.
We did, and that's good. It's a little hard to see on a small screen, especially.
It's gorgeous.
But it is
it's gorgeous,
absolutely beautiful.
If I'd put it up against any galaxy map from any property in Star Wars, Star Trek. Fuck them. I say ours is golden. And then this is, ladies and gentlemen, now the back cover of the Gangster Dust Jacket. That is the back cover. It's way too small, and the spine. It's way too small for you guys to read, but as you see, there's a copy of Species, Biology, and Football there, which plays a pivotal role.
Choto Huety, is that? I forget who writes it.
Yeah, Choy Huety, something like that. And, of course, Pondy spent all this time making these props, which we're going to talk about in a minute. So, basically, he's like, hey, man, can I use these props on the back cover? I'm like, of course he wants to show off the friggin' props. He worked his butt off on these goddamn things.
And not only that, it's exciting and weird, kind of Easter eggy fun.
There's so many Easter eggs in this cover. Courtney Schools is complaining that I get fined $1. No, I've got $4 left in the swear jar. Yeah. And then what we're going to do is we get into, Scott has some toys to...
Wait, hang tight.
Yes?
Jason Brown, you say I want to buy the galaxy map by itself, and that is absolutely will be doable. It's not going to be doable until I give everyone who already paid for that map map.
Yep.
But that will be possible and doable probably, I'd say, by late summer, early fall.
Okay, so now we are going to take a look at that gorgeous cover. Let's go back and take a look at it. This whole idea.
That's so exciting.
And if you guys have already listened to the Gangster audiobook or the ebook, right? Ebook's out, right? Then you know exactly what this is. Those of you who haven't got that far in the story don't. But this all started from an idea with Pondy. As we were talking about it, it started like this. This is how Pondy do. Pondy, of course, has the title. We've got kind of a template set up, and Pondy handles all the titles and all of the author font, etc. This is what he sent in. Like, here's my idea. I can mock this up. I'm like, cool, go for it. And then this is how the whole thing started with this right here. I'm
so excited. So what I mentioned a little earlier, where like Scott Pond comes up with an idea, and he's like, okay, I think that this was what I was thinking of. I should have read the script because I didn't know we were going to talk in this detail. And it's great because Scott Sigler was like, get this. Not sure do I get this? And then, like I said, as it goes on, it ends up being the only right answer. And it's so fun to watch creative minds do creative things, I think. Yeah.
I don't believe that is a barcode. That is not a QR code. Someone's asking. 4X also wants to know, can we make the map an NFT? I don't understand NFTs. I don't understand them at all. I think they drive me crazy. So we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it down the road. Now, ladies and gentlemen, now you've seen the cover. Let us get Scott Pond up in a much larger color here. And why is that? Give me 1 second. Bam, baby.
Tracy Shank. Yes, absolutely. And, Diet Mountain Dew, when we were doing the T-shirt shipping, Diet Mountain Dew, everybody saw that in the background in the garage. Like, I don't drink coffee much, but I give myself one Mountain Dew a day, and he gets one at lunch, and then we have to cut out caffeine. So it was so hard to get during the pandemic, we stockpiled. Found it. But yes, it's exactly that color.
All right, Mr. Pond. Now we're going to talk about your process here. Start with the basic concept for us. The time it took to figure this out. If you want to talk about all the trial balloons we floated up that didn't work out, go crazy. I mean, give everybody the high level overview of what your thought process was and moving toward getting, this is our finished idea, and then starting to move forward from there.
Yeah. So typically whenever we run into these, because I typically don't read the books right up front, so I don't have any idea of any of the details in the book or any of the special things that may show up in the book. So one of the first things I always do is ask, what's some of the key things that the main character is going to interact with, is going to see, is going to try to achieve during the book. And Scott had listed several things, and we went back and forth based on my capabilities of what could possibly work. I think we had talked about Greedock's throne at one point and several other things. But this object kind of captured my attention because I'm like, well, how important is this? And Scott said, well, it's
pretty important.
Pretty damn important for this. So I literally tore apart one of the Nerf guns I had that kind of looks like this to find some parts, because props typically are found in inside toys. And I was literally holding that prop together with my hand to keep it from falling apart, and had some Scotch tape just to kind of say, hey, here's kind of the big picture idea I'm thinking of for this, without really knowing a lot more about said object until we talked further on that.
Okay.
And I think we've gone back and forth, like 3 or 4 months back and forth.
We went back and forth on a lot of stuff. I had this one vision of like, let's show this as a cover image, and then when it switches to this book, that cover image will be a picture on the desk, and then the next one will take that desk and further in the background. Basically, I was ripping off Modern Family. And Scott and Pond was like, that's gonna be a little tricky.
So it's interesting because Matt Leach says, I like how it's very different than the other covers because this book is way different than the other covers. And that's actually true. I'm not quite sure if that's intentional, but I do remember part of the discussion being like, this stuff, we've handled on the field stuff for so long. And as you say, this book has a little less on the field stuff in it. And I think that was an early point that Scott Pond made, was like, maybe the thing we put on the cover now is off the field. So yeah, absolutely on purpose.
And those of you who've listened to it, this book has much more off-field activities. We build towards the finale that is book 8. And real quick, 20,000 words in second draft of book 7.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, I'm not going to lie to you guys. You're going to nippy hard-ons all day long. It's freaking fantastic. It's going to be good. So Pondy, now a lot of people look at this cover and they will assume that that's CGI, that's all done in CAD or whatever. But as you showed with the props and the thing, that's an actual real thing that you made, right?
Correct.
And
Correct.
Now give them an overview, like your history making props and what you had to do to go into making this actual physical prop.
Yes, I've made props for many reasons for 45 years.
Okay.
I think honestly the first prop I ever made, and just to give you a heads up, most of my props are reused objects, at least up to this point. My first prop I ever made was I took my beloved teddy bear and did an operation on it to spread open I spread open its chest specifically so I could do a Polaroid of it, so I could use that Polaroid as a drawing reference.
Did you fix the teddy bear, or was it sacrificed?
I still have the teddy bear.
Oh,
it has,
but it's an undead teddy bear.
I mean, I like it better now, right? Like it's
in rough shape. It's been a puppet at one point. It's been a surgery patient at other points, and it's in pretty rough shape. But it's still kicking around.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
And through the years, especially for the art stuff, I'd make props for lots of different things, and that even bled over into the Navy.
Oh yeah!
Where we would make going away gifts for people. So I've made fake gas bottles that everyone has signed. I've taken hockey sticks and modified those so people can sign them. One of our folks that left, we gave him a blow-up sheet that was modified specifically because it matched the personality. And basically, I've always been interested in making stuff, whether it's books. I've hand-bound books and use those for props and use those for practical use. And for the art especially, I've been more interested in adding the realistic elements instead of trying to CGI it to try to make it look realistic.
That's what the hardcovers, that's been the style for the hardcover covers that you've done for the GFL, is the paperbacks are, that is obviously art more.
Paperbacks are all images.
Is the wrong word, but
they're all created images.
And the hardcovers are more, they're supposed to look like real things.
And every cover that Pondy has done, which I think, did you take over and finish the starter but didn't start the starter, or did you come in on the All Pro?
I think the starter was done. He cleaned it up for us.
It was All Pro.
Okay. We had our designer for the starter ended up with a crazy weird infection and had to go to the hospital, so we had to fix that one. Mm-hmm. So the rookie was of course a design that Scott had thought of for, I don't know, probably since he was 7. Mm-hmm. Obviously with the Ionath Kraken's introduction, and then the starter we had to kind of get out because we had an emergency in house, and then we finally met Scott Pond, and every single cover from there on out, pretty much all that Scott designs for us, except for the SIGLER Fest t-shirts, I guess, he's a physical prop maker. He's a practical prop maker. And it's a lovely thing because the things you can do with practical effects really, really outstrip, because it feels real. Even when you're looking at it, it feels real. And I love that.
And speaking of the real, this being real, Pondy, can we go over all the parts? Do you have it? Can you share this with everybody? Because this is so friggin' cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So in reality, when you look at the dust jacket, it all starts out with this. So this was actually just a standard gun cleaning case that my lovely Tori and I found on one of our curve alerts. And based on your description, you're like, yeah, this basically fits exactly what these objects would be in.
Right.
So on the dust jacket inner flap, I think it's the front inner flap, if I'm right, Scott, shows the actual content of this.
Yep, you guys have to buy the book for that one. I'm not showing you, but you can show the case. That's fine. Show the case.
I can show the case. So we actually made the actual real case and everything that was in it, according to the story. Lots of different things. So as I said, most of these things are found objects or repurposed objects. So the glowing vial is actually just the standard craft bottle.
Is that hand sanitizer?
It is
It's a green glass bottle.
Shampoo, I believe. And you can see there's glitter in it, so all the glitter is settled since we did the photo shoot. But originally, all the glitter was suspended. We've got the alien sticker at the top.
Okay.
Yep. I love it. How cool.
So that's what you would see glowing on the front cover and back cover.
Right.
And the glow effect was the toughest thing to do out of this whole thing. But luckily, I had my technical consultant, Tori, who came up with a great idea.
So creative.
Of using strip lighting.
Okay, strip lighting.
Oh, and Tori just
added.
I love it. Tori just added in the chat room also that you tried hand sanitizer. It didn't work.
That didn't work.
I love
that didn't work at all. So the cool thing is we actually cut a hole in the cover of the box. Fed a couple of these LEDs.
Oh, I see. Okay, cool.
And use that as the basic for the glow.
I would have thought you composited that together. Like you got the glow in the thing and then cut that out in Photoshop and dropped it on. But no.
But like I'm saying, practical effects gives him.
Well, I did both.
Yeah.
Because combining the Photoshop effects with the practical physical object makes it that more fantastical and that more real at the same time. Another thing that is in the kit is this device, and this was actually a 3D model that was printed off by one of my old high school buddies. He sent me all the parts. I believe this started off as a Star Wars handheld prop.
Cool.
Heavily modified and then heavily photoshopped for that itsy bitsy cover. Case of needles, which if you look at them, they're really ball needles for blowing up balls.
Oh, I love it. So smart. And that would hurt so much to get shot with.
That would
sting
what would hurt even more is the original needle design that I came up with before Scott corrected me. So this was the original needle design.
You guys, if you haven't gotten your COVID vaccine yet, it looks nothing like that. It's literally the actual opposite of that. Just get your vaccine.
And Bonnie sent that in. It was great, but that was one of those weird things where he sends it in. I'm like, it looks really cool, except we're already kind of done with the story, and that runs counter to one friggin' line in the story. So one friggin' line, we're like, okay, we gotta switch it back. And Bonnie's pretty quick on his feet and found other solutions.
Yeah, luckily they have this thing called a chicken injector for injecting flavor into chickens.
Yep.
So I use that needle instead.
I've now got chicken scissors and chicken injectors. There's a lot going on.
You do have chicken scissors and chicken injectors.
I'm poultry crazy, ladies and gentlemen. Poultry crazy.
So the actual prop itself is actually not glued together, so it falls apart pretty easily.
Okay.
But this is the object from the cover.
Nice.
So most of these parts, this main body, the trigger assembly, were all found within that Nerf gun.
Oh wow!
So not even on the outside; they were all found in. And I saw the basic shape. I'm like, I can do something with that. It actually started off as that.
I love it so much.
So we've got a old thermometer screen that was glued on there, which it's not glued on.
Oh wow!
I love it.
And did you Photoshop over the top of that, or is that just the actual readout?
I actually did a readout.
Oh my gosh!
Went off.
But that was a great shot too, with you pulling it out so we could see it was a print off. Thank you.
We actually have a working trigger, so in case you do want to get it, this is the chicken injector.
Oh my gosh, that looks frightening.
Which comes apart because it's not attached. And then we've got all these wonderful stickers on it as well.
Some Easter eggs in those stickers. We're not going to tell you guys about them, but there's some.
Some of them
Easter
have
eggs
seen.
in there.
Some of them have seen.
Oh, they have. Good,
yeah,
nice.
The one person who should see, I don't think is here.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, Pond, I know you guys have a bunch to go over. I just want to mention we have a bunch of questions in the chat room. I wonder if I can ask a couple.
Real quick, I got to go. I just got to do this. We're going to keep the same question because I didn't realize this is perfect for Cinco de Mayo.
Questions. Oh, you have questions.
Hey.
Let's go back to the guest screen, and we'll go to the big pony screen. Go ahead, baby. What do you got?
So we've had a handful of questions about the stuff that's in the background for you, which we will talk. I don't want to talk about that now,
up
but
here?
yeah, absolutely. Everybody wants to see the Garaga photo. Everybody wants to know who is that. I know that's Eddie, but not everybody does. They want to know who Eddie is. They also want to know about your Platinum Blade. So I want to make sure we talk about that at least, because this is why we love so much to work with you, is you just are so
Got stuff.
just so
Stuff.
unstoppably creative. Like
Yep.
you just have to sometimes do it, and I love that so much. So let's make sure we talk about that in the meantime. But also there was a question about I can't quite remember it, but it was something like, so you have essentially been making all your life. Did you start by like taking things apart, or was it always, oh, I want to make a thing, let me find things to take apart?
It's been a combination of the two. I think my earliest memory of making something, I had to have been 4 or 5 years old,
Okay.
and I was really into Godzilla movies.
Yes.
So if you remember the old one with Godzuki, his little nephew.
The cart. Yeah. Yeah.
So watching that movie one day, I had some Play-Doh, and I'm like, I'm going to make Godzuki. So I made Godzuki, and then I'm sitting here thinking, because, I'm thinking maybe I can make this come alive like those little girls that show up on Godzilla. I'm like, it needs some internal organs. So I opened it up, gave it lungs, heart, intestines, everything in Play-Doh, and just put it together. And honestly, that started it. I tore stuff apart, recombined it. I think I made my first pirate blade out of sheet metal when I was 7 or 8 years old.
Okay.
So when I was young, my brother's in the chat room. Jude is my brother, as you guys all know. He was definitely a tinkerer. And I remember several times, like, my mom coming home from work and him talking to her through the radio because he had hacked that somehow or whatever. I never had any of that. And so I'm always amazed. I'm always amazed by Jude. I'm always amazed by you because, we get emails like, hey, I've been thinking about a thing. What do you think about this? And I'm like, dude, you have a job, you have a family, you
make stuff,
Tori,
though.
and
Makers
the Munchkin are so creative, and you're like, no, still,
Makers gotta make.
What about this? It's so interesting to me.
Did we have
a non-creative?
Any other questions that you saw in the chat room, babe?
No, other than when we're done talking about the cover, I do want to spend some time on what's in the.
All right, let's we'll keep an eye on the chat, you guys. If you asked a question earlier and it didn't get answered, throw it in the chat room. Chat room's right here. Boom, look at that, and we'll get to it. But while we're waiting for questions to come in, baby, let's do it just what you said. Let's go over what's on the board. That he strategically positioned himself in front of to tease the junkies.
So I want to make sure at some point you show us the 8.5 by 11 piece of paper that has all your contact details. But why don't we start with Paul's audiobook cover?
Yeah, so I can actually pull it off the wall if you want.
Terrific. That would be great.
I should have had his contact info on here. I screwed that up.
Yeah, that's okay. And I'm going to grab the trophy.
Okay. I'll cover.
Yeah, so this is one of the several book covers we did for Paul Cooley, his Garaga series. This is his second one in the series, I think, for Demons of Garaga. And this is a composite photo where I was able to find a stock photo for the basic model, completely replaced her face, completely replaced her hair.
Okay.
Gave her the medallion, and you can see, gave her the demonic hand as well.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
So the first one is similar. It's got a centurion with this monster behind him, but same basic venue as far as photorealism and just massively photoshopped.
And if you guys are interested in those books, that is Paul Cooley. Oops, sorry, baby, I muted you. Hold on. That is Paul E. Cooley, PAULECOOLEY, and you can find him on Amazon, and he's all over the place.
Yeah, he's all over the place. He's also a terrific author. You should all read. I love this particular book cover so much. Yeah, co-wrote the writer. Yep. Because I saw that cover a handful of times, and not until I read it did I see the creepy. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you pointed it out. So I'm not, because I was off mic. So
all right,
what else I love it so much.
Show us something else.
Yeah, let's look at, who's the one who looks like you behind you?
So this is Eddie. He actually came to the last Sicker
That's
Fest,
right. I forgot about that.
Was it just the last or the last two, I thought?
I think the last two, yeah.
Yeah,
so
good.
So he is the Scott size as far as modeling his actual height, and he is one of Scott's biggest fans as well.
Yeah.
Now we came up with the idea of with how much traveling we do and how many different things we see. We decided to make miniature versions of ourselves that we could get even cooler photos for. So Tori and the Munchkin each have their own figures as well. They're hiding somewhere in the house right now.
Okay. I think the chat room's gonna lose its. I'm gonna use one of my other free swear words. I have 4. Chat room's gonna lose its shit because everybody's asking about the blade up on the wall. Yeah. Is that removable, Pawnee? The blade?
I'm sure. I mean, you just used it, but also Phil Tiberius Plate just joined the chat room.
Phil Tiberius Plate. Goodness gracious! Welcome. Bat astronomer himself in his house.
Yes.
The bat astronomer consulted on the map, made sure, along with Dr. Gallucci, made sure our science was as close to real science as we could make it, but still taking some liberties to be able to tell a story. What do we got there, Pawnee? Show it off.
All right, so this should be recognizable.
What? And this is one of the examples of he just sometimes emails us and says, okay, you guys, how does this really look? And he just recently did that about the Roctopi blade and asked a question. And I was like, why are you asking about the Roctopi blade? And it turns out because he's creative enough that he entered a baking contest and needed that as a prop.
It's
this
great.
Is a life I don't lead that I'm so envious of. He's so creative.
Dr. Phil Plate, the blade is, of course, made of pure platinum iridium. It's not pure, a platinum iridium.
It's very heavy.
Yes, it's very heavy. If you hold that one more time, Bonnie. So those of you who've read Fitzroy and Earth Core, and when they talk about the difficulty of handling the weapons, you can see there's not really a handhold on those things. And if they are as razor sharp as they are purported to be in the fiction, that's a very dangerous thing to hold on to. It's almost all edges except for that little ring in the middle. But Pawnee, how did you make that?
So the cool thing is I said most of my props are reused items and repurposed items. We recently got some 3D printers.
Oh boy.
So this is actually 3D printed in 2 parts, glued together, sanded, spray painted. Took maybe 2 hours to do after it was printed. So really cool.
You guys, if you don't follow Scott, I would recommend obviously following Scott Pond, following Scott E. Pond Designs, following Skeleton Key Curiosities, which you can find a lot of their found treasures. And by they I mean Scott and Tori Pond. And one other thing I wanted to say. Your website is you're revamping your website, right?
Yep.
And yourself, so scottpond.com. I wasn't sure if it was Scott or scottepond.com, so I wanted to ask.
Okay. So I got that right. Putting Scott Pond in the chat room. Let's see if there are any other questions. Dr. Phil Plate says, yo. Oh my gosh, it's so fun to have the bat astronomer in the house. It's super cool. Super cool.
So super cool.
He's got this invisible hand in so much of the GFL.
So much. Well, and he's one of my. He's so close to us too as well. It's so nice.
Don Shipley asks, how did John Tweedy hold the one he fought the Portath with? The answer is very carefully, Don.
Very carefully,
carefully.
His whole family.
John Tweedy, we will see. I'm gonna throw out a spoiler, a free semi-spoiler. We're going to see more of John Tweedy's combat ability before the series is over.
Oh, I like it.
Yes.
I like it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. Do you see any other questions in the chat room, babe?
Nope.
All right. Pawnee, what else do you want to show us? We got another 5 minutes for it to start closing down shop.
I do want to see, can you please hold up your 8.5 by 11 piece of paper that has all your details on it for me, sure?
All right. Let's go back to...
Because this is really
important.
Put it
right camera center, Pawnee. Move it to your right a little bit. A little more. There we go. Now everybody can see everything on the screen. Facebook, Scotty Pond Designs. Instagram, Scotty Pond. Etsy, Scott E. Pond Designs.
Oh, Etsy. I have to check out the Etsy store. I didn't know that either.
Got it.
Cool.
Thank you, sir.
And so if you guys are interested, if you're fans of Paul Cooley, I'm I'm sure it's not just Scott and Paul. There's other writers.
There's been multiple others.
Yeah, there's
Matt Wallace.
Yep.
I've done.
Some good stuff from Matt Wallace.
Of course.
Pawnee, real quick question. In the chat room, since I'm old and don't know these terms, a lot of people asking about STL files. So
that's the 3D printing.
That's the 3D printing. So that you guys, that is up to Pond if he's ever going to share those or not. So I'm not sure.
I mean, I'm going to guess you maybe should look at his Etsy shop soon.
Look at the Etsy shop
after
is it
the
on
Gangster.
There?
Well, they're talking about the STLs for that
for the knife.
For the knife?
Yeah.
The knife you can publish whenever you want if you want.
Yeah, and people, there's a lot of people are trying to throw money through the screen at us.
And I will also
knives,
say,
so we'll
you
have
guys,
to discuss that down the road.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm a brand new D&D gamer, and I know that you are also creating character sheets, tracking your stuff, all that stuff, and they're really beautiful. And
cool.
So if you guys are RPG gamers, if you're fans of what I will call podcasted books, for lack of a better phrase, or especially fans of both Scots, go check out his Etsy shop and or his website, because there's so many cool things. We have several of his Scott Pond's, I don't know what to call them, zomborific photos that were made into posters, like the Sorry We're Dead.
The Signs of the Apocalypse.
Signs of the Apocalypse. Thank you. Those are some of my favorites, and I have several of those, and I love them so much because they're beautiful, material, real, practical photos that he has magicked afterwards. And so the photos are beautiful and the magic is beautiful, and you should check them out.
Beth Copenhaver's been on fire lately with comments over at the Facebook page. Beth Copenhaver points out that the blade would be good for the game Body Maim. Body Maim World Championships at Siglerfest. Has vetoed Body Maim. I am a chairman of the Body Maim International Organization.
I have to pay insurance.
The BIO. We were going to have our world championships at Sigler. The rules of Body Maim are large. They're pretty straightforward. Put on a blindfold, hold out your hand, and guess what damaging object has been placed in said hand. If you're capable of guessing, like that's a clothes iron that is on all the way, you get points. That is how Body Maim works.
I will say, Scott Pond, there are many, many people who are doing things sort of like this. I am Matt Leach just said, I am shoving my wallet into my computer screen and it's not yet working.
All right, we'll talk about the blade.
We'll talk about that for sure.
We have A and I have been kicking around an idea for some kind of special edition of Earthworm Mount Fitzroy for a while. We haven't really got around to it because it's a prohibitively expensive concept, and we are actively trying to get out of the warehousing and shipping a physical product business. We're, as a two-person shop, that is something we're not like. It's wonderful, it's great. It just takes time away from the things that we're really good at. So we don't know what we're going to do with that, but we'll talk to Pond. I'm not going to rules of thumb. No dates. I give you no dates. I give you no ETA. All I will promise all of you is that we will talk to Mr. Pond about that knife blade and see what can be done.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's an interesting thing. I'm gonna tell you two things. My brother Jude in the chat room just mentioned that orcs have tough skin, and I am going to take 1 second to tell you this. Before I was in my 40s, I played D&D one time or two times exactly. One time for about 20 minutes with my mom and my brother when I was like 8 or 9, and my mother couldn't get past the fact that an arrow couldn't pierce an orc's skin, and we were like, "What are you talking about? Like, you just shot the arrow?" And she was like, "No. In the Lord of the Rings, the orcs are much tougher." And that was the last time until I was something like 30-something and played D&D again because it did not go well. My brother was the D&D fan. That's number one. Number two is you guys super excited about the blade and the photos. Go check out Scott E. Pond Designs. Go check out Skeleton Key Curiosities, all this stuff, because he literally just told you a lot of his creativity comes from found objects. Skeleton Key is full of found objects that, Scott and his wife Tori have a very unique perspective on discarded things that have special value, which is how we get things like this. So go check both of those out. Scotty Pond Designs has posters from probably maybe like nocturnal things, maybe like there's leftover designs. I'm not sure. Check them out before.
We're fairly limited on stock right now just because we haven't replenished since the move. But expect new things to be popping up there over the next
Wonderful.
3 to 6 months.
Scott, I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you so much for all of the brilliant and hard work, because a lot of what we do, working with me is always tricky, guys. I'm not going to lie to you, because I tend to get very particular about how things are done. I realize that not only when you read a book, do you only get one chance to read a book first time. You only get one chance to see the cover and do all the other stuff for the first time. So a lot of times working with me is I don't know what I want until I see what I don't want, which is a bunch of bullshit. It's hard to work for. It's hard to work for
you.
It's hard for a vendor to work for someone who's like, you're going to have to give me something and then I'll tell you what's wrong with it. But that's basically how it works for me, because I just did this with Emily making some movie posters today, who's doing some side work for us. She sends this great movie poster. I'm like, that's not what I want, but now I know exactly what I want. And Scott Pond has to deal with that all the time. And he's patient. He's professional. He's made our hardcover books look so great. And Pondy, I want to thank you for all your hard work, all your devotion to Siglerism. I want to thank you for your friendship, and thank you you have been such a big part of what we do for a lot of years. And we love you, and we thank you, and we are delighted you could come on the show and join us.
And I will say one more thing. If you happen to be a person in the chat room or know someone who is a just starting out writer who's doing everything right, they're going to publish their ebook on Amazon, they're going to read their own thing, and they need, you need an editor that you don't know. And you also need a graphic designer you don't know.
Don't design your own covers. Don't do it.
Pondy is a great resource. He's creative. I'll be honest. I had a moment. I didn't know Scott Pond terribly well. To be fair, I didn't even know Scott Sigler terribly well then. And I was like, all right, so Scott Pond is now like he's designing for lots of authors. And Scott was like, yeah, they're awesome. I was like, oh, cool. Okay, we don't care. And he was like, go look at them. They're wildly different. Everything is different. Everything is unique for Scott Pond. He takes every single thing. And that's actually true even for the GFL books. Every time he starts a new book, a new design, he literally starts from scratch. He doesn't say, well, last year we did a cover with a girl on it. Maybe this year, or ring on it. Maybe we should do that. He literally is like,
come
cool,
on,
what do I want to do?
Look at this cover.
It's beautiful.
I got 3 left. He made that shit.
He did.
2 left. He made that shit. I'm going to save one. I'm going to save one for something good. But by all means, a lot of you do know our authors, aspiring authors, mid-level authors, whatever.
Please reach out.
Anybody you know is writing a book, if you hear someone say, I'm writing a book, I'm going to put it on Amazon, grab them by the arm, gently but firmly, and say, Murray, do not design your own cover. I love you, but you have no eye. You're horrible at the art. Let me tell you about this Scott Pond guy. Go to scottpond.com. Spread the word about Scott and see if you get Scott some much-deserved work.
And if you are actually a writer who is in this chat room, I will also say Scott Pond knows lots of audiobook narrators, lots of editors. He knows lots of folks, so he'll be a help no matter what.
Scott, thank you for being on the show. We appreciate it very much. We love you. This cover is great.
Much.
We're so excited to bring everybody this cover. By the way, not to be a pimp, but scottsigler.com/thegangster. Once we do the initial print run of this, we will have a couple extra copies. The best way to guarantee you get a copy of the book and get Scott Pond's work in your hot little hands yourself and get the Galaxy Map for sure is to pre-order, and the Galaxy Map alone is worth all the money you will spend on that book, all the money you will spend on shipping. I'm not kidding. You put that Galaxy wall up on the map, put that Galaxy Map up on the wall, and when you read books 6, 7, and 8 in the Stone Wolves, it explains. It makes it so real to see the different spots that Pondy has put up on the map, and it just, because all the punch space stuff, it becomes so much deeper and more internal when you can see it. It's totally worth it. Go get it.
Pondy, thank you also, so much. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and every single star on that map was individually placed with love.
There are so many Easter eggs in the map. It's ludicrous. I hope you guys love it. One more thing, baby?
One tiny more thing. If you are a fan of the GFL and are just now finding out how much we love Scott Pond, go to his Facebook and scroll back through. You'll see him making spray paint hoods out of laundry baskets and all sorts of crazy business. That was all for the cover you just saw. Or a lot of it was for the cover you just saw.
Thank God Pondy's a contractor, so OSHA ain't coming after me. Talk to Tori, OSHA. I can't help you. Pondy, goodbye. Thank you for joining us.
Folks. Love you guys.
We love your ladies. Please
Bye.
send them our love.
Will do.
And there we are. All right, baby girl. I think we're finishing this up. There's no time for any other questions.
There is not. We're at 7.
That was a nice, tight, terse, succinct show. I thought it was very good. It was.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So we are done. We are going to be back. Thank you so much, Scott, for joining us. Scott Pond for joining us. You guys,
real quick. Shannon Bethany, there is a Google map of San Francisco for Nocturnal. Good luck finding it. I don't know how to find it, but maybe you email info@emptyset. We'll see if we can send that to you. She's asking if there's a map for that.
No pup date this week because it turned out that we had so much to talk about with Pondy. We took some things out of the normal rotation, but they'll all be back next week. And
Pondy is just as cute as the pups. Let's be honest.
mean, cuter in a lot of ways.
For sure. All right, let's close this out, baby.
Who doesn't love a bald man? A bald, creative man. Come on now.
That's what I'm talking about.
Everybody's cute who's bald and creative. So you guys, as you guys know, we are always here for you on Wednesdays, except for June 2nd of this year. We'll be gone honeymooning. But if you have anything you would like to share with us on Sigler in Place or any concerns that you have with Empty Set about your books or stuff, please email info@emptyset.com.
And we will be back on Wednesday, May 12th, 2021, and we'll be celebrating International Nurses Day. If you are a nurse, if you are any medical professional for that matter, send a picture of you in your work environment, scrubs, what have you, to info@emptyset.com. We would love to celebrate you and get you up on screen, let the other junkies see what you do.
And you guys, we're almost done. I keep saying this, but we really are here in the United States anyway.
Yep.
Kind of almost getting past the last 14 months. So
can't drop your guard. You can't. India dropped its guard, and look what happened.
Well, I don't know that they dropped the guard as much as they didn't have the resources, but yes.
It's a little bit of both.
It's a little bit of both. It's a lot. So until then, until next Wednesday, please, 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 you guys stay safe.
Stay smart.
As ever, the only option is to stay science, you guys.
And for the love of science, stay informed. Listen to people who've studied things all their life, not people who read a blog 2 weeks ago and shared it on Facebook. We think you're awesome, and I think,
we love you guys
hold on, I got to
much.
come over here, baby. No, see, I'm doing this from, you know what?
You can do it from here.
Bang,
oh, yeah.
Boom. What do you think of that? I fixed camera problems live on the air. It's incredible. I'm like a genius.
You are a genius. Now, what is the like a genius? You are a genius.
You guys are all fantastic. We love you. Hope you enjoyed seeing the cover.
Wait one second. We're going to put the nocturnal locations in the chat room for 1 second.
You got, okay. Who's doing it? You got them?
I got it. I'm just going to drop it right in there, you guys. We love you so much.
After a year and a month of the show, 2 months of the show, we still have never gotten through our end closing tag in one piece. We're not capable of doing it. But I will have, you know what? While she's looking that up, I'm going to have beer.
We're done. The last thing we have to do.
Then go kiss off into the sky. Ready?
It's for love of science.
Wait.
Love of science, stay informed.
Stay smart. Wait, what am I missing?
Love of science, stay informed.
Love of science, stay informed. You now know kiss off into the sky.